I text him, I text him, and I text him because he wasn't answering my phone calls. What's up there, gumdrops? It's your boy Charlie T, back again with another video. If you're new to my channel, hello there. Hi, welcome to the tea party, and you are now officially a gumdrop just as long as you subscribe. I met my ex. We're gonna give him a name. Hold on, I didn't even think about it. We're just gonna call him Blunt. We're gonna call him Blunt because he loved the dragon, and if anything was on his mind, he definitely stated, he stated what was on his mind without any filter. We met in around, I want to say it was mid-late July of 2019. And I was living in Savannah at the time, and he was living in Atlanta. We met on this app called Tammy. We liked each other's profile, and we decided to message. Well, I can't remember if I messaged him, to be honest, or he messaged me first. All I do know is when we messaged each other, we hit it off pretty good, like pretty smooth. It was great. So I didn't know where we were going, really, honestly and truly. At first, chopping it up. Eventually, over time, we exchanged numbers. One day, I remember I was having a conversation with who is now one of my best friends. But at the time, we had only just met maybe a month prior to when I met Blunt. So my best friend and I also met on the app Tammy, and he also lived in Atlanta. And at this point, I was telling him about, a guy I was interested in that also lives in Atlanta. Because I wasn't that person to try to be messy and be all the gays in Atlanta know each other. They kind of do, but they kind of don't. It depends on the circle you're in, it just depends. Lives in Atlanta as well, and this and that and third. I didn't tell them names or anything like that. Blunt called me while I was on the line with my best friend. My now best friend. I was like, oh wait, best friend, the guy I was telling you about is actually calling me right now. He was like, oh, you want to call me back? I was like, actually, y'all two can meet while we all on the phone real quick before, I just talk to him, or I'll continue conversation with you. It really doesn't matter. We get on the phone. This is very important. Keep track of this. I introduce them to one another. What happens is Blunt goes, oh, that voice sounds familiar. My best friend goes, yeah, is this you're Blunt? Is this you? Y'all for real know each other? Are you sure you're not thinking about another person? Then he said, no, this is him. Apparently they went to high school together. Along with that, they tried talking at one point. They both had informed me that they used to talk at one point, and it just didn't work out. Fast forwarding over to September, we plan out for him to come to see me in Savannah. I didn't know how much until later on in the future, after we were already together and everything, how what he was going through and what he went through to in order to even come visit me. If I knew all that was going on, then I would have just been we can reschedule or what have you. But at the same time, I understood where he was coming from with he's just gonna go on a whim, he's gonna do what makes him happy, which is cool. I was excited. He was already prone to the fact too, my ex-fiance and I living in the same house, but my ex-fiance was, we're not even gonna use that term. We're just gonna say scammer. He knew that Scammer was living in the living room and I had the bedroom. Point blank period. had told him the whole situation way in the beginning, and he understood, and I didn't give any kind of signs that there was any potential of me going back to that. He gets to Savannah and sees me. I go out to his car to see him. It's great. We're making out, we're hugging and everything. I get him settled in. He ends up meeting Scammer, I believe, the next day. Actually, let's stick to that first night. It was cool. It was great, actually, really, honestly. I can't even know that. Like, it was actually a great night. We were cooking, we were playing music, like we were vibing, everything was great. And that night, you know, we got into some things, if you know what I mean. We made things official. By that point, it was very sensual. However, it was after that certain things happened to where he expressed, like, you know, it's alright, I understand. It's been a while since you know, been really intimate with someone, because prior to him, I was with Scammer, and Scammer and I didn't have sex for an entire year. Moving forward past that, the whole time, it goes great. The next day, like I said, he met Scammer. Scammer, of course, was trying to scope him out or whatever, and it's like, I was thriving in it. I was like, yes, look what I upgraded to. The ironic part though about this was they have the same exact birthday. Same month, same day, same year. Only thing that's missing is the time. Yet alone, they couldn't be more opposite. Like, it was crazy. It was beyond me. The next time I go forth and see Blunt, seeing him for his birthday, which actually was another great time. I went out to Atlanta, and it was my first time actually being out there as an adult. We went to the aquarium, went out to do some other things, went to the bar, hookah and everything, and I met one of his best friends as well. Like, she's mad cool. We had got into getting him a phone. I got him the new phone that was out at the time, which I'm pretty sure was the 11. Just added him to my phone plan. Keep that in mind. During this time, for his birthday, I was actually staying at his apartment. With his apartment, he had a roommate as well, which that's kind of complicated. It was his guy best friend / whatever situation. They had intercourse before, they had relations of some kind of extent, degree, but it was no more, I guess, by that point. They were just legit roommates. And I'm there at his place, like, we were still doing a lot of the same things we were doing out when he came out to Savannah. It was great. But then when it came to, you know, getting into some things again, he was then more blunt about how he wants things to progress, to get better, because he was like, you know, this ain't the end, but it's gotta go somewhere sexually. And he just felt like I wasn't letting him in. And I was like, well, I don't know what to do to help, but I'm gonna try. Like, I'm gonna figure this out, whatever it may be. Skipping over time, like, we had good days, we had bad days in terms to a lot of things he was mainly going through. It really was him, not even me. The only things that I was going through was dealing with Scammer at times, who was either behind on paying like his portion of the rent and had to pay me back, or it was some things that he was just very highly inconsiderate on, that I was just venting at times to Blunt. And Blunt was he was one of those people, like a few of my closest friends, who was like, you just need to kick him out. And I was like, I could, but you know, he, like, at the time when Scammer was going to initially move out was right when we were already going to break up. He was then going to sign off, like, on his end of the lease and just gonna leave me on there, which was gonna be great, but he ended up changing his mind. So going forth in that, we decided to finish the lease together. So I had explained this to Blunt that, you know, it is what it is. I'm just gonna finish this lease. I'm gonna stick to my word regardless. Like, he pays me back whenever, and like, which he was consistent with at least paying me back. It was, even though it was late, but like, it was cool, or you know, I was still paying the majority of things, which I was, but like, I was like, I just want to finish this out and be cool, keep it cordial. And so it got to a point where he was like just irritated with hearing it at times, which I can understand, but I didn't got to that point of, okay, I'm not going to talk to you about it at all, like, because I don't want you to continue feeling in ways. the thing was, for me on my end, the things he were going through were completely different. It was just in regards to more personnel, like just different things that I was just like concerned for and tried to help with, but then he didn't want help because anytime someone did help him, they would like throw it in his face, and I was trying to explain to him, I'm not one of those people. Following the next time I actually seen him, which I want to say was right before Thanksgiving, Blunt and I was chilling in a car. We were waiting on one of his best friends. We had took one of his best friends to go somewhere, and we were waiting on her, and we were just chilling, listening to music. It wasn't too much conversation going on, and to be quite honest, it was irritating the hell out of me because I was like, okay, I'm continuing trying to make conversation, and you over here looking like you soaping or something to your mind, you don't want to talk about it, so I'm just hello. So when my now best friend calls me, I'm telling him, hey, yeah, I'm with Blunt and we're in the car doing this and that and the third. The issue, the funny thing, it was so stupid to me. I can't wrap my head around like what is the issue. By the time the end of the conversation came, because I made sure the conversation wasn't going on too long because I did not want to be rude because I was with my boyfriend. The issue that Blunt had with me, my now best friend a nickname, like, and it's relevant to his name, which is the crazy part. He said, you even calling this man da-da-da, and like, what's up with that? And you having a conversation with him, I feel like it's rude. And I was like, did you not hear me like say, hey, I'm gonna get off the phone because I'm with him? And then I even texted him that. I even texted my now best friend in regards to what was going on, and I showed him the text. I was like, yeah, like you can even say text, because my best friend had apologized for interrupting, and I told him like, oh no, you're good, you know, that is why I said, you know, I didn't want to come off rude to you, but I do want to short up a conversation. And so I was trying to do it there. And like Blunt was still trying to make a problem of it to himself, though, not outwardly, but just inwardly. You could tell he just was feeling a wave. Moving along during that same time, while we were actually in this time an Airbnb, he legit was upset with this name. And I tell you, when I tell you, he had a whole attitude. He ended up going to work, and I told him, hey, I'm gonna hang out with my friend. He gets upset, well, okay, well, you can do that, and I'm just gonna work, and well, that's just gonna be that. He legit had a whole attitude over this. So what did I do? I went to Lenox Mall. I said, I'm gonna get this man some gifts. I'm gonna surprise him. I'm gonna like woo him, make him feel better, because I don't want him thinking that anything is going on with me and my friend, yet alone, I just don't want any kind of like drama between us and any attitudes. So I went over to Lenox Mall, and I had got him a Bath and Body Works candle, which ironically was one of his favorite candles. So he told me. And then I had made sure I got him some flowers, and that was that. Bouquet of flowers that like spread out petals. I got to the Airbnb. Don't have the video anymore, otherwise I could have showed it. But I went back to the Airbnb and set the room up. I lit it with other candles, and it was great. He enjoyed it. Like, I took video recording of what I did along with his reaction when he came into the Airbnb to see it. And we were thriving. We started to thrive in some things and doing some things and have music going. Then things just ceased. He got upset again. We just wasn't on the same page. We wasn't coordinating. We'll just say that. We weren't coordinating, and he started to feel some way. The following day, he actually was not feeling well. Like, he legit was kind of sick. And so I was trying to make sure he was gonna feel better. I was getting him teas. I made sure to get his Tylenol, everything. And I said, well, in my head, I was like, well, we definitely can't get some things now like that because he's not feeling well. Final time we see each other, which is for New Year's. I had gone over to Atlanta this time to see him for New Year's. So on my way to Atlanta, I take the bus over there. While I'm taking the bus to Atlanta, I'm actually at this point about a half hour away, and I get a text from him that informs me that he's really feeling a ways this time in terms to us getting intimate. He was basically insinuating that he don't know how this is gonna go if we can't get really intimate this time around. With that message being sent to me, literally, when I'm almost to Atlanta and we're supposed to link up at the Airbnb, you're telling me this, that you're now feeling a ways. How do you think that's supposed to make me feel? You think I'm about to come and be all happy-go-lucky and jolly? I was like, all right, let me be optimistic. I was trying to suppress my anxiety, and I was like, all right, no, everything's gonna be cool. Because prior to everything, I was still trying to figure out, what do I need to do? Do I need to take some kind of like, some kind of pill to like, get myself feeling more comfortable? Like nothing crazy like that, no illegal stuff. Maybe toys could work, maybe. And so we even talked about that before. So getting that message, I was just like, all right, this caught me way off guard. Getting there to the Airbnb, we meet up, he gets there, and it was like, I got excited to see him, but I guess it wasn't to his liking, because when we see each other, he's like, hey, and I'm like, hey, and we hug and kiss, but it was like blah. We're getting ready. We plan to go out to eat that day. And when we go out to eat, we go to Applebee's. When I tell you, this was most definitely not the date that I anticipated. It goes back to the same time when we was in the car waiting for one of his best friends for where we took her. It goes back to that. It was so bland. It wasn't exciting, and it most definitely wasn't on my end. It was just like a wall was just there for him. He gets a phone call from some family. He tells me afterwards that we can go there for New Year's, or we can do something else, because we're trying to plan. He's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I mean, I don't know what there is to do out here for New Year's. I mean, you grew up here. So he's like, well, we could do this, we could do that, but I don't want to really go out there like this, and I don't want to do that. So I was like, well, why are you asking me? What do I want to do then if you're not comfortable with doing things? So it was very conflicting. I was just like, okay, well, let's just do like your family's party or gathering, whatever, get together. So then he tells me, well, it won't be till a certain time, and then we can schedule like, when to go out. I said, okay, that's fine by me. So when we leave, we go back to the Airbnb, then we start to do some oral. First of all, I was tipsy, okay? I'm not even gonna lie, because we were pre-gaming beforehand, and then afterwards I think we drank at Applebee's, but then afterwards I was drinking some more. Was giving oral, and then he choked me. So then I gagged. You doing that, when I'm tipsy, and then you trying to gog me out, like, excuse me. We move forward past it, okay? We move forward, we're gonna move along. And we start getting some things, and we didn't end up finishing at all, because he felt like it still wasn't getting what he was wanting or needing out of it. We had a long conversation. We couldn't even start the new year right. Tells me that a friend of his hits him up and tells him about a party that he can go to, like he was invited to, and he thinks he wants to do that. He says he doesn't even want to stay at the Airbnb. And I was like, oh, okay. He said, yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I said, well, what friend is this? He goes, oh, well, it's one of my exes. Now, how the hell on? So you mean to tell me that, ironically, one of your exes just had hit you up, and then tells you, oh, okay, hey, I want to invite you to do this, and you're just gonna go? He tells me, no, well, actually, like, he hit me up, and he told me, like, it was on Instagram, and he was just seeing how I was doing, and I told him, like, yeah, I'm with you, and, that's when he invited me to go, and I said, yeah, like, he technically invited both of us. I said, okay, well, I can go too. He was like, well, you seem like you in a different vibe, and it's not the vibe I want to be on. And I was just like, how do you expect me to be on so hyped up and amped after the kind of shitty behind day you gave me prior to me even arriving? You send me all long text message about how basically this is it. Like, this either this way or this way. How do you expect me to still try to persevere through things, and then you sit here bringing in the new year with the kind of energy you was giving me from earlier just now in the conversation? Like, what? Make it make sense. He said, well, all right, yeah, I'll see about coming back tomorrow. So literally, I was left at the Airbnb to sleep by myself. I had his location, so rewind. I know he didn't go there that night because I noticed this one particular location was the same location he was actually at. I saw when I was on my way to Atlanta, and I was confused because it wasn't his address. And when I asked him about it before, he tried to say it was some auto shop kind of location, whatever. But on the location, when I zoom in, it's definitely a complex. This is the same place he ends up at the following day. So he didn't go that night. From when I went to sleep, and which was late, he wasn't there. But when I woke up, he still wasn't there. However, he ended up going there after work. So he was supposed to see me by the time he got off of work, and he didn't. And this whole time he had work, I had tried to plan something else to do. I was like, all right, let me try to see like if one of my good Judies that I have like out here in these parts, you know, can hang out. That didn't even work out. Like with two of my good Judies, that didn't work out. And then my now best friend, I already knew he had things going on, so we weren't going to be able to hang out either. That's not even a reason why I even came out here to begin with. Like, I came here solely for my man. Hit him up, like, we're texting throughout the day, but it's very, like, it's giving, I still have attitude about what I said the night before, and you're not responding in positivity to it. That's what I just knew. Like, at the end of the day, like, I moved into the relationship way too fast, and it wasn't him, but he did express, the only thing I will say, he did express like how it made him feel like I wasn't attracted to him in that way. And I said, that's definitely not it. Trust and believe, because otherwise I would not waste my time. I've been there, done that. Just like it just wasn't meant. Moving along, he tells me that he's gonna go home, and he ended up going home taking care of his dog, which was fine. And he said he was gonna stay at home. He doesn't want to come back to the Airbnb. So that entire time, I did not even see him. We did not FaceTime or anything. We just talked on the phone. And prior to all of that, we almost always, if it wasn't a regular phone call and texting, we almost always were FaceTiming. I was just like, this is mighty interesting. At one point, late at night, after he already said he's just gonna stay at home, I then see later on that he's actually on the way somewhere. I text him, and I text him because he wasn't answering my phone calls. You're not answering my phone calls. You're not responding to my texts, which was because it wasn't going through. The next time I checked the location, it's not working. Like off, like it was a disconnect. It was like off because the phone was turned off. So that's how I knew something. Tell me why the next morning I wake up, texting me that, you know, good morning. And I call him like, because I was like, no, you're not about to text me good morning after you just let me like high and dry, because last time I checked, you were staying at home. You didn't even come to see me. You left me high and dry. I call him and we have a conversation. He just basically tells me, oh yeah, like, my best friend and some other family was telling me that like, they couldn't reach me either. Something was wrong with my phone. So where are you? Where did you end up going? He ended up telling me, oh, I went to my friend's house, like, you know. I was like, oh, okay. I checked the location after the phone conversation. It's the same place he was at from before. This ain't adding up to me. Looking forward to my last day there, he neglected to hit me up at all, like the entire time that I was still there for that last day. I had hit up one of my now best friends, and he came and we hung out, and we were just like enjoying the day. Go over to the airport, so I can get ready to go back to Savannah. I get a call, a FaceTime specifically, from Blunt. Blunt is in a place that I don't recognize, but he's also with his dog. He was like, yeah, that's the place I end up being at, going to, because where I'm staying at is, that's this whole situation that he was telling me about. And so I understood that. Come to find out, this is actually his ex's house. We're talking, he tells me, yeah, so I think that I need to focus on me and put myself first. Everyone else does always put themselves first, and I need to do the same. I was just like, with you, I never put myself first. You were actually always before me when we were together. So I just need you to make this make sense to me. Like, everybody else has been putting themselves first before you, and you're telling me now you're about to do you. It's time for you to just cut me loose. Oh, okay, I see you. To a degree, I wasn't upset because I understood from a point of, okay, self-growth. You need to do what you gotta do and get your stuff together. And honest and truly, I was here for him getting a whole lot of things together. It was perfect. However, at the same time, don't use that as an excuse. He then breaks up with me. I was highly upset. My anxiety was through the roof. I was mainly highly upset because you ditched me. Basically almost the entire time that I was there in Atlanta for you, you decided to ditch me because of the fact that you were feeling away this entire time. Basically, you don't want to go forth. You're telling me, oh, I want a lifelong partner, I want a husband, and I feel like we should be going forth in that, and that's not where we are right now. You're not like the sensualness. First of all, we were only together but for a few months. Second of all, you're telling me that all of a sudden now you're considering us to be lifelong partners. Okay, yes, that's a goal in the long term, but it don't happen overnight. And this same ex, ironically, is the same ex that you're telling me before, when you guys were together, that he proposed to you and you thought it was too soon. And that's why you ended things with him. So now, ironically, you're ready for that, and so you rather go have that. By the time I get back to Savannah, I was like, I have further questions to ask you because I need the answers. And I feel like that's the least you can do for me. And I told him, I said, was this for him? Like, is that what it is? He said, no, and just also for the record, I never cheated on you. I never want to cheat on you. Like, I didn't want to treat you like an ex and anything like that. He was like, but before I did, like, just in case, like, I just want to cut off. It wasn't for anybody else, but for me alone. And I said, okay, I'm gonna have faith in you in that. However, at the same time, it just contradicts what you're telling me at the same time, because otherwise you wouldn't been so sly on the fact that you've been texting the same man that you're now ironically staying with, like in living terms. He just so happened to hit you up and invited us both to go out, but then you decide to go out alone, and then you randomly like just disappear off the face of the earth for overnight. And then you're just seeing this man basically the entire time while I'm in town. Your own boyfriend is in town. You decide to see your ex. How disrespectful. I said, this is where you lose me. You lose me. Like, I understand, but I don't. Break it off from there in terms to the conversation. And we were cool going forward. We had conversations. We would still text from time to time. It was cool. It was actually starting off to be well. I had hopes for us to be still like in the future together because he did say we could or we could not. So I was so hopeful. And also for the fact that I was planning to move to Atlanta once my lease in Savannah was over, especially because there was way more opportunities for what I was going for out there. So there was still that, and that was a discussion we also had during the time when we were together. He asked me about getting off of the phone plan because he's going to get his own. I understand, because you're trying to go on your own and move forth in that. I get it, completely get it, and you don't have to deal with you don't have to deal with me like in that kind of regard. So I understood, but at the same time, I saw right through that. That was a start of getting rid of any contact dealing with me. Just let bygones be bygones. And we still chit chat every once in a while. I would send him my playlist, I would send him music, and then it would be at times where he wouldn't reply. He would state that he forgot, like, oh, I forgot, I didn't text you, my bad, da da da, it'd be days on end, or he won't respond at all. When this man used to be on top of it. So I knew that was shit. I eventually decided to like just cut ties altogether with him in terms to like texting him or trying to call him, because for one, I mean, he could change his phone number by now, and that could have been why he stopped replying to my last few texts when I was trying to see how he's doing over the summer. But it was just like, it was just phony to me. Like, you be sly with me before breaking up, and to then break up with me, saying it wasn't for your ex, basically it is. And then I'm seeing on your Snapchat, because I'm going forth, I wasn't immediately over him, obviously. And because I was well into him, even though we were together for a few months, they were great, and we were moving forward into things. And I saw, like, he ended up getting another dog with this man, and like they going on, like he's showing the, like, Valentine's Day stuff and this, that, and the third. I said, oh no ma'am, oh no ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am, no. He legit was blowing out, giving out subliminals that he was engaged to this man. That's how I knew that you were lying to me. Who decided bygones be bygones? I'm not going to mention stuff. I'm just going to still wish him the best. But over time, he just stopped being consistent with replying back whenever I would just genuinely check in to see how he's doing and everything. Because I knew at that point it was done, but I was still caring because I was like, we're gonna be friends. Like, I'm gonna legit be a good friend to you. But you weren't giving that in return. You were on some fake shit. So with fake shit, I just say goodbye. It is what it is. Again, I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he's doing great in his life. What's to say, hey, how you doing? Just check up on me. I still would say hi. I'd still be cordial with him. But am I looking forward to it now? No. It's just, it is what it is. That is it for today, guys, my video. And until next time, I shall see you guys on the flip side.